My priorities over the next number of years, certainly in the area of live animal exports, to maintain that, the access to the single market, to ensure that we finance for small and medium-sized businesses and the agricultural sector as well. I don't believe that Irish banks are in the process of actually lending in the way that they should be to the agricultural sector in general. Beyond that, the Industrial Emissions Directive and other areas of legislation that are, putting environmental obligations on farmers.
I feel really passionately that there should be Greens coming to every event where we're discussing rural Ireland and agriculture, because let's face it, the Greens are pointed at as the bogeymen, and it's absolutely untrue. And I think it's really convenient, and to be honest with you, it's dishonest to point the finger at people who care about the environment, because my experience, coming as I do from a farming background, is that farmers care every bit as much about nature as everybody else. And I also think that Greens and environmentalists care every bit as much about rural Ireland as everybody else.
People on the ground are tired of being told what to think, what to eat, where to go and what to drive. They are tired of having carbon taxes imposed on diesel cars when they have no alternative. When you're cutting silage, there is no alternative to diesel. So that's not a carbon tax, that's just tax. We've seen with the nitrates derogation, it's impossible for people to know, is it a wise idea to invest in my farm at the moment when the rug can be pulled out from under your feet? And this has also gone on, by the way, with the food vision discussion about how many cows people should have or how large the national herd should be. People investing in farms are investing hundreds of thousands to develop a farm for 10, 20, 30 years down the road. And you can't do that at the moment with the constant flip-flopping in policy.
Even there in dairy, you're finding that people are doing a full-time job and then also doing the milking and trying to cut it back then to 1 milk a day, that is the reality, and I know it is. And that's why I do think that it's investment in diversification is the answer. It's really, that's the only way to bring us forward and out of this kind of bottleneck and challenge.
The real issue now that's undermining confidence is not necessarily the price of the product that they're selling or producing, but it is the uncertainty around the policy underpinning all of that. So you take the nitrates derogation, you take the Industrial Emissions Directive, you take all of these things and you put them together, it just undermines their confidence. So we need to have certainty. And I just make this point, we had the Green Deal and the Farm to Fork strategy. Now, we have varying debates about whether or not there was impact assessments done on the individuals, but the overall issue here is there's been no clear direction. And even in the last couple of weeks, we had the unwinding of some of those particular areas around sustainable use of pesticides, for example, the Industrial Emissions Directive. So, if we want farmers to invest and if we want to instill confidence in the industry, the very least we should have is confidence in the policies that underpin it.
Live export is happening. So you either work with reality or you don't. So we brought that to our partners in the European Greens and said, well, here's the reality for Ireland. So we would like to see unweaned calves not being live exported. We would like to see export outside of the EU not happening. But there's a pathway to these things, and the processing power within Ireland just isn't there for everything that we would like. And the same for farmers. I know that farmers would prefer to have processing done as close to the farm gate as possible.
Pragmatic.
So pragmatic, and I think that's really, really important.